1556 AD, 5450 AM. On January the 23rd, over 800,000 people perished in China by an earthquake at the Shenxi province, principally in Shaanxi. Some estimates place the death toll at 830,000. A comet was recorded by Europeans in April. This is exactly 70 by 7 years before 2046 AD, when millions in China will die from earthquakes throughout all of Asia. 1. Natural disasters. 2. Introduction to comets. 1558 AD, 5452 AM. A descendant of the Zeno brothers named Ruskeli found among the family papers the Zeno map, dated at 1380, that depicted an ice-free Greenland and certain polar regions. He had the map published in this year. This date is connected calendrically to the Great Dispersion of Humanity in 1899 BC, the Babel event 3456 years previously, or 864 times 4. As shown abundantly in CHRONICON 1, 864 is the number that links both space and time, see 3031 BC. In 1899 BC, the families of the world spread out rapidly after a disaster and collapse of empire in the Middle East. As traditions concerning that period affirm, many expeditions had been set out previously to map the world and its coasts. Also in 1558, the military tank was invented, exactly 138 years, 1656 months, after the armoured wagon. 1. Cataclysm. 1559 AD, 5453 AM. Pope Paul IV published his Index of Forbidden Books. Every Hebrew book in the city of Prague was confiscated and burned. On July the 10th, King Henry II of France died an agonising death, predicted by Nostradamus and Goricus. A splintered lance pierced his visor and eye in a ceremonial joust. The French Jewish prophet had specifically warned Queen Catherine de' Medici, but she could not dissuade him from the event. The knight that killed King Henry fled, but was captured, and Catherine tortured him to death. She was the mother of Mary, Queen of Scots. 1. The Bible fraud. 1560 AD, 5454 AM. Ivan IV of Russia becomes Ivan the Terrible at the death of his wife, the beautiful Anastasia Romanovna, who had won a national competition of virgins to win his attention. In this year was born Erzsébet Báthory of Hungary, popularly known as the infamous Elizabeth of Bathory, Transylvania, Romania, born 84 years after the death of Vlad the Impaler. She is infamous for butchering over 600 young girls and women, so as to bathe in their blood in her belief that this was cosmetic and prolonged her youth. She was known as the Blood Countess, and was influenced by the still-told stories of Vlad Dracul. She died in 1614, exactly 138 years after Dracula. 1. Mad Kings and Queens. 1561 AD, 5455 AM. A great mass of objects passed over the sun and filled the skies as seen from Nuremberg, Germany. Some smaller objects struck the ground and gave off a smoke, and the greatest object seen was a gigantic black spear-shaped thing hulking beyond the earth. The northern prophetess Mother Shipton, born Ursula Southill, died. She prophesied of the last days with amazing accuracy, predicting 2 global destructions that will depopulate the entire world, 2040 and 2046 AD. Nostradamus, who also predicted these 2 major global cataclysms for the years 2040 and 2046, was 58 years old at her death. In this year was born Sir Francis Bacon on January the 22nd, died 1627. He was a brilliant writer, orator, historian, theologian, mystic and poet, an author of these works attributed to William Shakespeare. He also edited the King James Version of the Bible. Bacon was actually born Francis Tudor, Prince of Wales, the legitimate heir to the throne of England, the offspring of a secret love affair between Queen Elizabeth and Robert Dudley, the Earl of Leicester. Dudley was later poisoned to death, and Francis' identity was not made known to him until late in his life. He was raised by Nicolaus Bacon, keeper of the Great Seal of Britain. Sir Francis Bacon was probably the greatest king England never had. One of Heaven and Earth, intro edited by Sitchin. 1562 AD, 54:56 AM. At Izamel in the Yucatan, De Landa under Vatican authority attempted to destroy all of the Mayan codices. In July, he burned 27 of the Mayan books, a tremendous accumulation of Mayan knowledge lost. This is evidenced by the fact that the 4 surviving Mayan codices are all packed with information. This year was 800 years after the Council of the Mayan Astronomers, Timekeepers, in 762 AD. In this year also from South America, Peru, Spanish explorers sent back to Spain a cache of fascinating figurines of dinosaurs fighting each other, fighting against armed men, of what appeared to be advanced scientific experimentation using magnifying glasses and telescopes, even performing surgery. The dinosaur carvings were of anatomically correct Stegosaurus, Brontosaurus and pterodactyls. Many of these figurines are still exhibited in the Inca Museum of Peru. Interestingly, this was the 5,000th year since the descent of the Anunnaki called Watchers in 3439 BC, who taught mankind these sciences before the Great Deluge, see CHRONICON 1, Lost Cities and Ancient Mysteries of South America. 1563 AD, 54:57 AM. Gerardus Mercator visited Egypt and the Great Pyramid and wrote the date 1563 next to his name on the monument. The Great Pyramid was the 0-degree longitudinal point for the antediluvian world, and Mercator developed a modern late longitudinal system. 1. The Great Pyramids, Cortigiani. 1566 AD, 54:60 AM. In Nostradamus' letter to his son Cesar, translated by Carlo Patrian, says that various volumes that had been hidden for centuries were revealed to him, old Hebrew books of prophecy. At age 63, Nostradamus died. Strange lights were seen over Basel. Some of these appeared as blackish globes, passing visibly over the bright sun, according to Samuel Coccius. 1. Nostradamus, the Lost Manuscript. 2. Secrets of Nostradamus. 3. Of Heaven and Earth.